May I ask for BJ Mir to stand up and ask only one question? Let us not hog.
Mr. President, first of all, there are so many political parties in Pakistan. What was the reason for you having yet another party? And historically, I don't know if people are aware that you're the only leader in the history of Pakistan, the first one to publicly apologize for something which has been wrong. So, may I ask, will this be the first step as the umbrella you've talked about, getting that political, the political difference which prevails in the country? Does it mean that you will be there to unite all under the umbrella of the APML?
Thank you very much. First of all, why? I think I've given an answer that I don't see at the present, when you see the political landscape in Pakistan, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not seeing light to take Pakistan forward. So like you and all other Pakistanis here who are becoming emotional, I am also an equally patriotic Pakistani. We all love this state. While I'm comfortable here, I would like to contribute my bit to show that light, because I don't see that light. I only wish that we could have seen that light now, and I would have relaxed and not joined politics maybe. But it is the demand of the hour that I have said, we have to, it is incumbent upon every Pakistani to stand up and do something for Pakistan. So I, in my humble capacity, am just trying to do something for Pakistan. Even if it means endangering myself, I have to rise above self and do it for Pakistan. I have tendered a public apology because I have a belief that compromises, reconciliation, apologies for wrongs need guts. It needs courage. It needs courage far more than that required to face danger. And I have never shirked from that. Where I'm given thousands of correct decisions, yes indeed, I faltered in a few, for which I have apologized, and I've learned my lesson, as I said.
Thank you, sir. The lady there, yes ma'am, up, yes up, please.
Paisley Dodds with the Associated Press. I'm wondering when and if you return to power, what you'll do differently in terms of tackling extremism, particularly with regard to the American administration, and I'd also like to find out why you think that you might not be arrested when and if you do return.
Well, on fighting of terrorism and extremism, well, the means being adopted are going to be the same. But of course, one has to understand all the dynamics of terrorism and extremism in Pakistan. As I said, we face 4 challenges. Challenge of Al-Qaeda, challenge of Taliban in the mountains of, in the tribal agencies of Pakistan, challenges of them spreading Talibanization in the settled districts of the frontier, and also the challenge of extremism in our society. Now each one of them has to be understood in all its dynamics, and we need to strategize our responses to each one of them. I think I have a good understanding of each one of them, and we will be able to strategize against each and defeat it. On the other issue of whether I'll be arrested or something, today there is no case against me in the courts of Pakistan. So let them be whatever cases have been instituted have been done on political grounds for political victimization. And that I am prepared to face when I get there. I am not scared of them. There is nothing wrong that I have done. There are no skeletons in my cupboard.
Ma'am, yes ma'am. You asked, yes, go ahead.
I'm Caroline Hawley from the BBC. I imagine you know what I'm referring to, but are you concerned that allegations of brutality by Pakistani soldiers could risk alienating the population and fueling the insurgency?
Allegations of brutality against?
Made against Pakistani soldiers, where there is brutality, where images might have appeared of brutality.
I think I am very sure that the Pakistani soldiers are trained enough, they don't carry out any brutalities anywhere. However, may I say that we shouldn't get involved in minor tactics. We should look at the war against terrorism, and we should encourage, we should help, and we should support and back up the army in this great fight that they have undertaken. Instead of criticizing them for minor issues, which under the dangers and under the tension of battle, under the tension of bullets flying around, sometimes does take place. I am afraid, I wonder whether you've been under the tension of battle to realize what goes through the minds and hearts of the soldiers who are facing death. So therefore, please leave them alone. Please leave them alone. They are trying their best.
Ladies first, yes, ma'am. I'm leaning towards ladies. Zell साहब ने कहा ख़वातीन ने शाना बशाना चलना मैं चाहता हूँ हमसे आगे चलें.
Sir, Afshan Mangesh, I'm a Pakistani journalist based in the UK. I just want to ask you a question. In Pakistan, there is Islamic right-wing Islamists who are still vengeful of the Lal Masjid operation. Then there is a Baloch nationalist who hold you responsible for killing of Nawab Akbar Bukti. And then there is a head of judiciary who is not so particularly good and friendly about you. And then, last but not the least, in Punjab there is PML and Nawaz Sharif camp, which has an old vendetta to settle. So, what do you think? Do you have any political space or opportunity or prospects in present circumstances in Pakistan?
Well, all these allegations, all these aspersions are generally politically motivated. They have no grounds to accuse me of anything. However, may I say that I am used to and I am accustomed to fighting on many fronts. I do it again. And secondly, may I say, it is the people's power, the power of these people who are standing around. And I'm going tomorrow to Birmingham, I will show you more power. It is the power of the people who are my greatest protectors and who are the greatest, my witnesses to where I stand and what I have done for Pakistan.
Alan Fisher from Al Jazeera English. Can I ask you, first of all, what do you say to the people who believe that if they vote for you, they'll simply be getting a military dictator in a suit? And the second question is, how long can you ask the people of Pakistan to support you when you're not in Pakistan, when you're here in London?
The first part, a military dictator, I mean, this is very odd and funny that a person is in uniform, he is a dictator, even if he is not. A person is out of uniform, again he is a dictator. I'll give you the answer. Dictator, being a dictator, is in the mind. It's a mindset. It's a mental state, right? A military man can be the most benign, can be the most democratic, which I think I was. And a civilian can be the biggest dictator. And therefore, don't talk of dictatorship on such a narrow front of whether a man is in uniform or not. I think this is a very wrong perception of dictatorship. You should see, in fact, and this I have been telling all the Western countries and leaders, you people are only interested in democratic elections, fair election, which is very important. But it doesn't end there. You should see how a leader is performing to the state and to the people. Yeah. Because the ultimate good is to the people. So that is where your weighing of whether a man is a dictator or not a dictator, he's good for the country or not, You should see whether a person is good for the country and the people or not good for the country.
Right, sir, right, sir.
Sorry, sir, the second part of the question.
The second one, sorry?
The second part was, how long can you convince the people of Pakistan to support you here in London?
Yeah, now, I think these people are going to do that for me. You see all these... There are many who have come here from Pakistan. There are several, innumerable number, who could not come because the visas were not given, unfortunately. So therefore, from here, this is a modern age. We have television, we have electronic means of contact, and then, may I say, I am not here permanently. I will go back to Pakistan. I will be in Pakistan before the next election. Whatever the dangers, whatever the pitfall, I will be in Pakistan before the next election to lead Pakistan.
I can't see that far, Shah Sahib. We are sort of running out of time, Ji. We probably have a little more.
Musharraf sahab,
Shah Sahib, jaldi se.
Murtaza from Jang Group and Geo News. I've got two questions. The first being, you have not announced set a date of return to Pakistan. Are you confident that you can lead your party well enough from abroad? And my second question is there any truth?
That is the question that was asked.
Is there any truth in the media reports that Imran Farooq was supposed to join you here today very alive? Was he close to you, and when was the last time that you met him? Thank you.
I have never met him in my life. I don't even know what he looks like. These are all experts in being cast.
इसके बाद आपने
I'm Navanita Sarkar from NewsX, and I have two basic questions. One is, what is your party's plans on relations with India? You made a lot of progress when you were there. So what is the party line? And also on Kashmir. And the second question is, Pakistan, as you said, is in a very bad state at the moment. Are there any chances of another army takeover? How will you fight the elections if that happens?
Yeah, the last question first. Because there were some aspersions again on me in the media. I don't know why these things are distorted. I don't think army is ever going to take over. And it was, aspersions was cast as if I have said that there is a possibility of military takeover. I have never said that. Army will not take over at all, and they don't need to take over. There is a tussle going on in Pakistan, which we all need know between the Supreme Court and the government. Let us see how it works out. But the army certainly is not. Just 1 second. Just 1 minute. Yes. Now, Kashmir, certainly the relations with India, as we were progressing forward, will follow the same strategy. We have to resolve all our disputes, Siachen, Sir Creek, Kashmir. We were making good progress. And I think we could pick up the strings from there onwards. If Manmohan Singh's our Prime Minister Manmohan Singh is there, he knows where we were going. We will pick up the strings from there.